every nerve unzips. We're dancing on the deficit. Black Monday, we ride the floor. Every green got shot by the Lord of War. Circuit break, pop, lock, shock, restore. No more, no more. Southside choir singing in code. Wall Street rosaries dripping gold. When the faith folds, the bold explodes. Welcome to the crash where the chaos sold. Come on, yeah. Gamma squeeze grief with a smile so venomous. Speech cut sharp, dead sentimentalist. Macro madman preaching predicates. Each syllable synthetic, pure anesthetic. Fed minutes read like a requiem hymn. Polity bullets symmetric and grim. Liquidity leaks from the system's rim. Capital cannibals sing that sin. Hedge fund carousel. Spin while the VIX line swells. Index coffin, close that cell. Welcome to your margin hell. Black Monday, we ride the floor. Every green got shot by the Lord of War. Circuit break, pop, lock, shock, restore. No more, no more. Southside choir singing in code. Wall Street rosaries dripping gold. When the faith falls, the bold explode. Welcome to the crash where the chaos sold. Turn it head up. Black Monday, we ride the floor. Every creed got shot by the Lord of War. Circuit break, pop, lock, shock, restore. No more, no more. Southside choir singing in code. Wall Street rosaries dripping gold. When the faith falls, the bold explode. Welcome to the crash where the chaos sold.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where it is a beautiful Monday, August the 3rd. It's a new month. It's a new us. I know. When we started July, we all promised ourselves that we were going to be disciplined. We were going to stick to our system. We weren't going to buy that many prop accounts. We weren't going to YOLO all those crazy zero DTE options. But we all know July is the month of joking around. That's what the J in July stands for. It stands for joking around, and that's what we were doing. So now that we got that out of our system, now that it's August, it's actually going to be doing what we want to do. We're actually going to stick to our system. We're actually not going to do degenerate full port bets, and we're actually going to make some money. So it was good that we all got those laughs and those ha-has and those hee-hees out of our system. It was a good prank that we all played on each other. And now it's time for August, where we're going to dial in and be actually serious about this whole thing. So just keep that in mind, especially when the world's largest casino opens up and lets us degens in for the day. Lots to chit-chat about. We have big movements in the overall market. We're still in earnings season. We're going to be hearing from Palantir and Snapchat today. Huge developments, I suppose, in terms of Iran, but then also in the yen. So we got to get into that this week because it's a whole new month. We're going to be getting the unemployment report on Friday. At some point this month, we're going to have the Jackson Hole Symposium and update on monetary policy. So there's a lot to get into. I got to break down the situation for the month, for the week, and also the individual day. But before we get to that, I want to cover something that I find to be particularly interesting, if you don't mind. Question for all of you. How much would you pay for insider trading information? Now, before we talk about the actual cost and the fee associated with it, let me first show you some of the information that you would be getting earlier than everyone else to see if you can ideally make some profitable trades and investments on. So please direct your attention to this beauty right here. Now, obviously, at first you might look at that and think, there's no way I'm making money off of that. Like, what's the point of getting this information early? But that's because you have an untrained eye. You don't realize that this is actually a very symbolic take on the fact that the market's about to rip to the moon. Now, all jokes aside, it does seem as if political insider trading is now legal for all of us with a very hefty fee. Trump media pitched $100,000 monthly fee for fastest feed to U.S. president's posts. So, yeah, you're going to be able to get other AI-generated photos such as this one, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Donald J. Trump signing not even the Declaration, but it looks to just literally be a map of the U.S., all with their very fancy feather pen. So, this is the type of information that you can get for $100,000. Now, obviously, I'm saying this a little bit tongue-in-cheek because, yes, this is live. As of the month of August of 2026, you can now pay up to six figures, $100,000, to get the sitting president's true socials, the equivalent of his tweets, earlier than everyone else. Now, obviously, I'm joking a little bit about the photos, but no, actually, the hedge funds and the rich people who get this information, they're going to be way ahead of the game. Basent's to-do list: buy 10 to 5 billion worth of Japanese yen, according to this Reuters photo. So this was in front of Basent: buy Japanese yen, JPY 5 to 10 billion. Just a little bit of a hint, a little bit of a, hey, look at this. And guess what happened? Guess what played out recently? US and Japan aim to transform yen landscape with joint moves. The worries that drove Uncle Sam to buy the yen. So when they're teaming up, Team Japan, Team US, what they're doing is literally buying the yen. Now, to, I guess, cover why we're doing that, like, yeah, I guess it's somewhat being nice to Japan, but really it does help us quite a bit. Why the US stepped in after decades to prop up Japan yen and what's at stake. So first, to understand the severity of this, this is what recently happened to the USD JPY pairing. It just dropped. Another way to look at this is JPY USD, and you can see that relative to the US dollar, the Japanese yen was trading at the lowest value it has in the past 40 years, the past 4 decades, and all of a sudden it's starting to spike up because, once again, the US and Japan, they're stepping in and buying the yen. So the first question is, why was it going down so much? And I think it's actually safe to say that this is the first Iran-related bailout. Now, let me connect a couple dots here of why this is the first Iran-related bailout. Well, remember, Japan, or maybe you didn't know this, is a massive importer of energy. It just is. That's how it's set up. They need a lot of what's kind of being disrupted right now in the Middle East. Obviously, that's going to be hurting Japan's trade and their overall balance. So the yen has been weakening. Why that matters to us is because when you look at the national level, the people in Japan, the government of Japan, they're one of the largest singular owners of U.S. treasuries. Well, that's kind of a big deal because if you've been looking at our treasuries, they're not so good. Treasury prices, bond prices are down as yields are going up and up and up. And that's all happening in the face of, are we about to jack up rates? Because remember, inflation hasn't been exactly trending where we want it to go when we clearly have more of a hawkish leaning Fed chair and overall Fed body at this moment in time. So as much as it's quote unquote nice that we are stepping in to assist Japan, we're kind of saving our own tail here. So really, even though Japan is getting what I would call an Iran-related bailout, I would say that this is kind of also just helping us. So we're kind of bailing ourselves out from this whole Iran deal. And then just to tie to, okay, is $100,000 worth it for this apparently legalized insider trading? Well, it doesn't stop there. This isn't a one-time deal. Trump pivots back to diplomacy as Iran victory eludes him. So apparently today, Monday, August the 3rd, this afternoon, we're once again restarting conversations with Iran. Granted, they are denying it, but apparently that's what Trump is saying, and clearly the market does believe it. Is it real or not? That's besides the point. What the real question is does the market believe it? And then all of a sudden, once again, this is this type of stuff that you can get earlier. President Trump unleashes oil production on the West Coast with his Defense Production Act. As soon as this comes out, also with the update from Trump himself that these talks are restarting, well, guess what? Trump says Iran talks to resume Monday after calling off planned strikes. Bada bing, bada boom. Oil goes straight down. So whether it's a 6+% drop in oil in one day, or if we're even looking at the spike in the yen in the past 3 days, these two alone are going to make some people millions of dollars. The people who bought the information and know how to use it best, it's going to make them billions of dollars, because overall in the market, we're talking about trillions of dollars of movement, which means that, yeah, there's going to be people who are rich and wealthy and powerful and already set up to take advantage of this are going to do it even more so. Trump Media has officially launched its new paid data service, providing faster access to true social posts from President Trump. This is live as of now. The new service is called Truth API, which gives firms a direct license real-time feed to the platform's most a direct license real-time feed to the platform's most market-moving truths. The service reportedly costs as much as $100,000 a month. So for $100,000 a month, yes, you can get what I would consider pretty funny AI-generated information. But on top of that, you're going to get the thoughts and the commentary of the sitting president before the rest of the world has it, that can cause gigantic movements in the yen, gigantic movements in the oil, and that's just in the past, 24, 48, 72 hours. Imagine what's going to be happening not only for the remainder of the month, but for the remainder of the year and the remainder of his time in office. So if you ask me, I guess insider trading is now legal for all of us if you can afford it. But to tie this back a little bit more, Iran says Strait of Hormuz talks are underway. Circling back just a little bit here to the whole, well, no, we're talking, which we're kind of seeing in oil coming. Oops, sorry, where was the oil? Oil coming down. Remember, Iran is denying the whole thing. So let me play this for you really quickly. Let me make sure the sound is good.
About any potential talks scheduled for this
volume
afternoon,
is good.
Abir?
Good morning, Vonnie. We know that there is back and forth yet again between the United States and Iran. So about an hour ago, we heard from the foreign ministry in Iran through the spokesperson that weekly press conference he holds, Ismail Baqai, saying that right now there are no ongoing discussions or negotiations with the United States. He did say that Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, is actually in a pilgrimage, to Iraq, and that the rest of the negotiating team in Iran is in Iran for the time being. And so this is the back and forth that has emerged multiple times through the course of this war. Vonnie, now you did hear President Trump essentially saying that he was preparing for an attack that was the biggest against Iran since World War II. And then he went back and said, actually, negotiations with Iran are set to recommence later on Monday. Now, again, an hour ago, we heard from the Iranian side saying that no active discussions with the United States are set to take place. But perhaps what's different this time is a discussion that is happening with Oman on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, we reported last week, Vonnie, that both Iran and Oman were in active discussions to open a safe route, a middle passageway in the Strait of Hormuz, if you were to get a trickle of movement really through the waterway that really needs it at this point. So we understand from the foreign ministry and from our reporting that those talks could be at a stage that is almost final. Now, we don't know what it entails. We don't know if it will mean demining the Strait of Hormuz or for ships to have to seek less permissions or anything about the tolling system, for example. But we know that it is meant to create a safer trickle of movement or a safer passageway for ships and tankers that are trying to make their way through the Strait of Hormuz, which has seen sporadic movements really over the past couple of weeks or so.
So if you need me to summarize what that means for the market today, well, it probably means that there's going to be quite a bit of choppiness. Oil slumps as Trump holds off Iran attacks, says talks to resume. Remember, they are actively denying it themselves. Oil prices fall more than 5% as Middle East tensions ebb on diplomatic efforts. So I honestly think that this is going to be pretty symbolic of the seasonality of August anyway. Over the past 20 to 30 years, this is the seasonality of August. A little up, a little down, 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 and a little bit up. So July, pretty bullish. September, bullish to bearish. And then October, kind of starting until, I would say, roughly about mid-January, we get a big push. But I do want to let you know, just because we're starting the new month, we are just going flat. Now, just because this has played out historically, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how it has to play out this year. Granted, historically, July is a ripper, and this time it was a bit more choppy. So, yeah, of course, they might do a little bit of a flip flop here, but I just want you to know generically about the seasonality. And if you really ask me, I think it's going to come down to a lot more of these just binary updates from Trump and the team. Specifically today, Monday, August the 3rd, we're getting some manufacturing numbers, 9:45 and 10 a.m. Tomorrow, JOLTS job openings. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment change, and then service numbers. Thursday, the normal initial jobless claims, and then Friday, because it's the Friday of a new calendar month, we're going to be getting the job numbers, the unemployment rate, the non-farm payrolls for the previous month. So once again, that will be this Friday. Please do not forget, we are in earnings season. The ones you probably care about are going to be today, Palantir and Snapchat. Just so you know, later on this week, tomorrow morning, Pfizer, Caterpillar, McDonald's. After the market tomorrow, AMD, SpaceX. SpaceX is going to be having its first public earnings report, so something to pay attention to, especially as the stock has been getting absolutely destroyed. Wednesday, Shopify, Uber, Disney, Riot, Circle. After the market on Wednesday, SanDisk, Western Digital, all going to be pretty important. And then it does kind of calm down into the remainder of the week. Of course, there's still some important names, so feel free to screenshot this. It's also on my Twitter page if that's something that you find to be useful. And I suppose while you're doing that, sign up for the newsletter. It's 100% free. This comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. There's no upsells or anything like that. It's 100% free. It always has been. I break down the week, cheat sheet for earnings, that same graphic. Once again, you could just rip it from there. And then I give you the individual days of like, okay, here, pay attention. I kind of summarize it a little bit better. And then I also give you the seasonality of each individual day. Historically, to kick off the month of August, it's not so bueno. Over the past 27 years worth of information, the Bulls win the first day 36% of the time, which means the Bears win it 64% of the time. So historically, the Bears have a 2/3 shot today, while the Bulls have a 1/3 shot. But what's making it even more bearish is when the Bears win it, and they do win it more often, they win it with greater size. Now, that trend has presented itself somewhat more recently. A lot of the times, this was just purely a choppy day, but just commenting on the recent skew of the day. Tomorrow, a bit more bearish as well. Wednesday, bearish. Thursday, a bit more bullish. And Friday, a bit more bullish. So starting the week, starting the month out, where seasonality does favor the Bears, but then by the end of the week, it's a little bit more bullish. But once again, the month as a whole, not that crazy on a historic point, which kind of brings me to this particular setup where, you know what, let me get rid of all these. The setup itself is kind of interesting. So let me clean this up so we don't have too many tabs. This is where the overall market is at. We had a huge pop, all-time high to kick off the month of June. We had a sizable drop, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. So this is just clearly consolidation. We all are holding the EMA cloud. More importantly, we're holding the 50 EMA. Obviously, ending the week, ending the month last week, we had a nice push. The question is, are we going to get the follow through getting up to this realm of 7,550? Or are we going to push 7,620? Well, there's big movers that are going to be impacting the overall market. Number one, we are seeing oil calm down. Okay, that could be good. If it is announced that the Iran thing is over, yeah, we're going to see a gigantic spike. That is pretty freaking clear. If you look at the yen, okay, that's interesting. The yen is spiking up on a relative basis. But if you really dive into it, is it that good of a situation that bonds are getting hit this much? Like bonds, I wouldn't say they're completely tilted, but bond prices are clearly down and yields are clearly high. That's not so good when we're thinking, are we actually going to get a rate hike in September? Remember, right now, in real time, as I already showed you, there's more than a 50% chance that we're going to have a rate hike. I know this entire time people have been talking about rate cuts and Trump was slamming on Powell, calling him stupid and too late and he needs to cut rates. Folks, right now in real time, to kick off the new month, it is more likely than not that we get a rate hike in September than a cut. So there's pressure on things. If you look at earnings, which I know we've already been kind of covering, they're mixed. We have some earnings that are doing really well. It's a mixed bag, and then other ones not doing so well. So in terms of these high-flying tech plays, some are clear winners. Others are clear losers. So that's a mixed bag. So right now, and honestly, just looking at the seasonality of August, that's kind of where my vibes are at, where like I need to see which way things break. Now, for those of you who care about like the nitty gritty detail here of things, I know some of you are Core 1M fans, especially because Spot Gamma talks about it a lot. Right now, Core 1M, it is starting to break back down. That's not so good. It does put the market at risk of a larger vol spasm. So something to consider there. But then on the other side, I would say, well, the market's done a darn good job at actually holding this EMA cloud. And all of a sudden, if the Iran situation does truly simmer down, which that's kind of what oil is suggesting, and then if we have a couple good earnings to kick off a new month, I could see a push to 75.50 to maybe even 75.80. And I guess I'm not the only one. I see a lot of plays up there today. This, I just want to be clear, is for those of you who are day traders or caring about the intraday levels. There's a lot of positive gamma between 75.70 and 75.90, with the highest node at roughly 80.85. Of course, this could change throughout the day, but all of a sudden, that massive amount of negative gamma we saw last week and the week before, it's just not there right now. It's just not there. And of course, it could return on a moment's notice, but the 0DTE, the weekly, and the monthly are all call dominated right now. There's higher call open interest than there is put open interest. Now, of course, they could be selling those calls, and obviously we saw some positive gamma up here, but all of a sudden, if we get up there, that's just stability. Remember, positive gamma is stability. Positive gamma for market makers means that players such as you, me, hedge funds, high frequency trading firms, insurance funds, everyone else in between sold that. So they're just saying, okay, remember, the purple that you see, when you see positive gamma on the screen from Spot Gamma, shout out to Spot Gamma, that is not bullish nor bearish. It kind of depends where it is relative to price. But generally, the best way to think about it is going to be just that is stable price action. You get there and you kind of get stuck there. And once again, this is on a 0DTE basis. So we're going to review that throughout the day. Right here, we're going to be looking at flow throughout the day. I'm curious if people are going to be buying calls, if they're going to be selling puts. So we're going to be monitoring that throughout the day. But right now, hey, it's a new week, it's a new month, it's a new us. Just maybe, we're going to be sticking to it. And I'm so happy we have a couple minutes until market opens because, folks, I need to show you two of the craziest clips ever that just came out. You're going to love this. Like, hey, if your kid is yelling at you as you're bringing them to school, if your manager saying, hey, you're late for the meeting, that 9:30 stand-up call that we all have, everyone just tell your kid to shut up, tell your manager to shut up. Everyone just listen to these recent clips from Trump. I promise you they are worth it.
Mr. President, why is the U.S. intervening to support the Japan at this time? To support who? To support
the question, and it's loud because it's Air Force One. The question was, President Trump, why is the U.S. intervening with the Japanese yen now?
Japanese currency.
Because we have a good relationship with Japan. We're very strong, very, very strong financially. And they are, they have a weakening yen. And they wanted a little bit of help, and we're always there for Japan. Japan's been very good to us, with the exception, of course, of Pearl Harbor.
Mr. President,
They were not good.
Japan has always been good to us, except for the exception of Pearl Harbor. Dude, this guy, this is now the second time. The other time he brought up Pearl Harbor was the whole surprise thing. Fascinating to watch. Of course, he has to interject that the U.S. is super strong financially. I wouldn't say super strong. I would say we are stronger than we're weaker. But crazy, absolutely crazy. And then the other one that's going to go down in infamy.
Great. Everybody wants help from our country.
You said the anti-weapon. I'm with ABC News. You said the
BBC?
ABC.
Oh, ABC, that's worse.
You said the
I like
anti-weapon
BBC better than ABC. Go ahead.
You and me both, brother.
Everybody
I
wants
like
help.
BBC better myself, brother. You gotta love it. All right, so that's basically your morning rundown. Trump admits he loves BBC. Trump is selling his tweets early for a small nominal fee of $100,000 a month, and it's a whole new month. So we're maybe gonna stick to our trading plan this month. That's what you need to know. Those are the three major breaking things of today. And if you have those written down, if you have those memorized, you guys are good to go. Just he does like BBC better. So maybe that's something you could share at your team stand-up today. maybe when your boss is like, how was everyone's weekend? What is everyone up to? I think that's a good tidbit that you could interject for everyone else. Yeah, who doesn't? All right, the Q's giving back all of their gains overnight. We did have a nice spike up on the whole Iran yen news, but we are back at ground zero. The SPY is slightly green as we have a minute to go. And actually, as we have a minute to go, I have Palantir and Snap up because they are reporting. I just want to show you the expected move. So for anyone playing Palantir or Snap, you might care about this. The expected move for Palantir is huge, 9.6%. Snap's even bigger at 12.7%. And then what else do we have today that you might care about? I don't know what Sport Trader Group AG is, but they're looking at 13.8. That's huge. And that's pretty much it for today. So coming back to the major ones, Palantir 9.6, Snapchat 12.6. So those are the ones, once again, for PLTR, SNAP. All right, with all that in mind, you know, new month, new week, new you. Maybe you'll stick to your plans. Maybe you won't. Only time will tell. Best of luck to all. Let me switch this up so you guys can properly see everything. All right. We are good to go. We are good to go. We are good to go, 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 go.
Ding, 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 ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun.
All right, so for those of you who are quick enough to play the downside gap fill on the S&P 500 already hit, we did technically open above the high value from Friday, and we just got that gap fill. Did I get a fill? I did not get a fill. I did have some S&P 500 calls that are nicely green, just didn't get a fill quite yet. The Qs, kind of interesting. The overall market is really, really green, while the Qs are barely holding on to being green. Snapchat, not a stock that I commonly discuss or trade, just actually having a pretty good opening as we were getting to its earnings after market close today. And then Palantir up 2%. You know, while we're here, we might as well look at some of these other ones that are reporting. MCD, McDonald's getting hit pretty heavily recently. That has earnings tomorrow. Caterpillar also, actually overall, this stock's been on a run. It's giving a bit back right now, but Caterpillar does have earnings as well. What else do we have? Well, actually, I have that on my list. SNDK. SanDisk has earnings coming up tomorrow. And then there's Western Digital, WDC, another one in this realm of the AI world, kind of going flat, honestly, after a huge rip. So a little bit of a setup in terms of these individual equities. While we're waiting for the market to open, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, are there any other individual equities you guys want me to do a quick little looky-see at? Anyone you guys want my opinions on, a little bit of a breakdown? Reddit reported last week. That's old news. That's old news. Pre-market just went red. WTF. Why WTF? I mean, it's basically break even. It's basically saying the situation has not changed from Friday market close to Monday market open. Tesla already had earnings. They were not so good. The stock really getting beat up. I have a feeling that looking back at this, buying at 300 is going to be a good long-term investment. What I find more interesting is SpaceX. SpaceX, ever since its highest recorded value, it is currently down 53%, and it has earnings tomorrow after the market closes. Open is a pump and dump scam from Twitter. I've been calling this out forever. I was right this whole time. This was so evidently a pump and dump scam. Who was that asshole who was pushing it? Eric something. But if you could not tell that Open was a pump and dump scam where everyone on Twitter is just like, oh my God, this is the next best thing, you're just going to fall for it. Lifecraft, I can see you commenting, open door, open door, open door. It sounds like you got caught holding the bag. It's a pump and dump scam. It's a piece of shit company. Before you know it, this thing will be returning back to $2. I'm sorry you got caught up in it, but I hope you didn't have much money on the line. I hope you learned this lesson that chasing these parabolic moves pretty much always ends in disaster. That is not a shrewd, profitable, reasonable way to engage in the market, especially when the parabolic move isn't being supported by some sort of massive trends such as AI. That's like what we saw in Micron and SanDisk. It is literally just exclusively people talking about it on social media. I know it's a painful truth. I know you're going to be mad at me. It sounds like you, unless you're short, maybe you're playing the other side of it. And you're like, no, man, like I just absolutely hate it. And if you are shorting it, congrats. Like, this was a very evident pump and dump short. You know what? While we're here, let's talk about our pump and dump shorts. AMC, it is popping. Once again, just give it time. The higher it goes, it increases the likelihood of the company doing another at the market offering, because remember, their debt situation is basically unsolvable and they're forced to always do at the market offering. So given enough time, this one will crack. Do you just arbitrarily short it? No, that's not how you do it, because we know when things get going, they can keep going. You have to wait for weakness. That's the best way to actually play it. Cast is one that we talked about back here, $8. And once again, when we're talking about these shitty pump and dump stocks, I don't know what they do. The point is not for me to memorize what the company does. We're talking about these parabolic moves that obviously fail because it's a shitty penny stock. TGHL is another one that's actually getting going for the third time. SDOT is one that we saw back here at 50. Another time we saw it here at 23. ZYBT, another one failing. PN finally showing weakness. I haven't seen an opportunity to short it, but it looks like it's getting really close on this snap of basically 14. ADVB, the short was back here on Monday. JEM, my favorite one ever. It's literally called Cayman Holdings, like Cayman Island. Another one that is just getting, going to get destroyed. Well, it's already getting destroyed, but like I said, this one's going to be coming back to 350. EHGO, not even trading. WBuy, don't even know what that is. And AMIX was my newest one. Once again, the short was last week on Thursday when it finally started to crack. So there's one perpetual truth about these penny stocks in the land of active trading. What goes up must come down. These shitty penny stocks, they pump, they have rallies, they get people excited, and then surprise, surprise, all those people are left holding the bag. I guess trick in trading them is just knowing when to actually enter. Just because something's up a lot doesn't mean it can't keep going up. You have to wait for something to structurally change, whether it's the volume getting destroyed, whether it's the first red day, whether new information comes out. It's not something that you just blindly do. The same way you wouldn't blindly buy something that's legitimately good. You got to wait for other forms of developments. Speaking of blindly buying, I am trying to... You guys have know that I've been in these calls for a bit. I had 3. I dumped it down to 2 for risk management. I am trying to sell another one at 125. It should be somewhat close. 122. Come on. Where's my money? Come on. Pay me my money. Where's my $5,000? Where's my $5,000? We're almost getting there. We're almost getting there. And just so you guys know, I did double dip on this situation. So not only do I have those SPX calls, I have SPY and QQQ as well. 17. You know what? Let's be good stewards of my account. And let's sell 7 of these at 10. Nope. 1020. 7 at 1020. I have 17. Cool. Let's do that. We're pushing. Is that order in? I hope it's in. We're pushing 124. Come on. Money. 5K. We're going to start a whole new week. We're going to start a whole new month. Open P&L 10K. Come on. Lock it in. Give me the money. Come on. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Just locked in $5,000. Not a bad way to start, folks. A little round of applause for the team effort here. Thank you for all of you who believed in me from the get-go. So just locked in 5K there, and done. Did these lock in? Okay, I actually just locked in here as well. I had 17. I'm now down to 10. So I sold half. So I think that locked in about 3.5. So 3.5 on the 5 made a nice 8.5. Not a bad day, team. Not a bad day. So locked in some there. Last week, I already locked in some on the Qs. So I'm up 68% on SPY. I'm up 16% on the Qs. And once again, I've sold about half on, I sold 1/3 on the Qs. And I sold just under half on the SPY. And I've sold 2/3 on SPX. So like I said, as things are trending in my favor, if you're here to try to be like, Matt, where's the top going to be? Folks, I don't know where the fucking top's going to be. I don't know where the bottom's going to be. I don't know. The only thing I know is that President Trump likes BBC. That is the only thing I am sure of today because we heard it from the horse's mouth. Other than that, I'm doing my best to guess. I'm trying to put some stats on my side. I'm trying to do proper risk management. I'm trying to not lose my mind. And that's everything that I'm trying to do in the meantime. We can't be sure about anything in the market. Maybe it goes, maybe it doesn't go. As things seem to be improving in my favor, I'm locking in the money when it's there, because that's exactly what I wasn't doing for pretty much the entire month of June and July. And I'm trying to be better this month. I'm trying to get back to the gym. I'm trying to diet a little. I'm trying to trade well. I'm trying to stop letting Piper, for those of you who don't know Piper, my chief investment officer, listen to old Eastern political rantings all night. Like, I'm trying to improve my life, and this is just the start of it. This is the start, day one at a time. I know a lot of you also have cats who like to listen to 1940s, 1950s old Eastern European political rants, and that's just what Piper's into. At first, it was funny that a cat would be interested in it, but it would be lying if I said it wasn't now disrupting my life, just to be completely honest. I never got a Vanquish account from the giveaway. I just didn't get the coupon codes because the weekend, by the time I did the system, it does it like during the work week. I'm going to get those to you today. Same thing with the TPT. The credit should be either coming today or tomorrow. The money was sent out to the winner on Friday. But in terms of the prop accounts, it just takes a little bit to get the coupon code. It takes a little bit for the credit. So that should all be good today, knock on wood, and if not, tomorrow. But don't you worry. I have everything saved. I DM'd everyone just so it's there. You could always talk to me, but you're going to be getting it. No worries. No worries. BBC, Big Black Cat. Yeah, of course. Same, but I didn't win, so there's that. Yeah. One of the prerequisites is that you did, in fact, actually win. That is, unfortunately, one of the prerequisites. I know sometimes it seems unfair, but it is one of the prerequisites. Someone said, Tesla, let's go, baby. What is Tesla app? What is Tesla app? Amazon's up a lot. Google's up a lot. I had Google put credit spreads that I got out of for a loss. Are you kidding me? Intel not looking so good. Amazon new all-time high. So Amazon hit a new all-time high. Congrats to all of you who are playing it. Google, not an all-time high, but a really strong recovery. I mean, it was just at 350. Now it's at 370. Tesla, pretty bad, but trying to bounce off of 300. Microsoft, I mean, not long ago, this thing was at 350. It's now at 488. If you did not play Microsoft, you have no one to blame but yourself. In this whole craziness, I kept telling everyone my favorite buys right now are Meta and Microsoft. Granted, Meta does have some distance to go to recover, but I was smack on about Microsoft. I kept adding, and at this point, I felt like a genius in June when it started to show life. Then it made this fake out low. It wasn't looking so good. And then finally they crushed earnings and it's coming back. But I've been telling you for the past 2 to 3 to 4 months, Meta, Microsoft, they are my favorite levels right now in terms of major tech plays. And just relative to the rest of the market, they were trading at a very small multiple of their revenue. They were trading at a very small level of PE. And Meta, I still think, has distance to go. Microsoft, it's silly to chase it now. I mean, I was buying it around 400. Now it's at 488. So for those of you who thought similar to me, hey, congrats. We made some money today. And then for those of you who thought I was wrong and stupid, you're right. Just not this particular time, but you are more right than not. Why is NVIDIA weak? I guess it just had a rough weekend. Where's NVIDIA? Right here. NVIDIA's, I would actually describe NVIDIA as literally doing nothing. It's not weak, but it's not strong. It's just, NVIDIA does have clear periods of doing nothing. There's, I mean, a little bit of scrolling back, you can see it is within NVIDIA's common pattern to consolidate, expand, consolidate, expand. To me, this is just a period of consolidation. I think if you're calling it weakness, maybe you're just a little too zoomed in the past week. But overall, think about the world that NVIDIA is in. NVIDIA, in this gold rush of AI, is the one selling the shovel. I would not bet against NVIDIA. I would not bet against NVIDIA at all, but I also don't think this is weakness, so maybe we just look at it a little bit differently. Nibius and Marvel dropped and popped. Yeah, so that still might be the Leopold thing playing out. Oh, for those of you who want a full breakdown, I'm probably one of the craziest stories ever. The video is up. It's up on wherever you're watching this right now. Okay, no, that's actually the wrong channel. That's kind of embarrassing that I am trying to show you a channel and I show you the wrong channel. But anyway, the video is up right here. Leopold, Citadel crashed an AI hedge fund and made billions. So I do want to, I just suppose live with you while we're just waiting for the market to open. Remember, I don't think it's that advantageous to trade this early, especially when we have reports coming out at 9:45 and 10 a.m. So trust me, I'm not missing anything here. But this video is out, posted 2 days ago. You guys are liking it. I do want to add on one piece of clarification. In the video, I said, hey, he's still up 80%. And if you notice in the comments, it seems as if a lot of people forgot that I actually said that because they said, but he's still up. I want to clarify. The only reason he is up is because of his private investment of Anthropic. All of the public equity basically got zeroed out because of the margin call. And he was up so much on Anthropic that that's what the fund is up. But the way it was structured, and because most of the money came in recently, most of the people who invested in it didn't get any exposure to Anthropic. So they're actually at zero. So just by the pure numbers, most people who put money into Leopold Ashbrenner's hedge fund, situational awareness, ended up with zero, zilch, goose egg. And actually, it could be a bit worse because depending on where you are and how it got set up, you actually might be getting a tax bill. So not only did they lose their investment, but they actually might have lost more of their investment because of a tax bill. So is the fund technically up? Yes, it's technically up from inception because of the Anthropic investment. Most of the people who put money into the fund did not have exposure to it, so that doesn't matter to them. And like I said, not only are they at zero, but they actually might have lost more than their entire investment due to a tax bill. So I just wanted to add a little bit of clarification there of what's happening, what's not happening in that whole chaos. But if you want the full breakdown, like I said, check it out. I think it's the new hotshot whiz kid, and it's not me calling him that. Like literally, how many publications were referring to him as like just the god of Wall Street, effectively? Wonder Kid, whiz kid, blah 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 blah. They like called him an economic prodigy, this, that, the other thing, and he went from high flying at the start of the month of July. He was the presumed king of Wall Street, to fast forward to the end of his month, heading into his wedding weekend, just got absolutely murked by Citadel and Ken Griffin. Absolutely murked by Citadel and Ken Griffin. All right. Very quickly, here's a look at flow thus far on the day, and here's a look at the gamma map. A lot of positive gamma somewhere. It changed a little bit. It's now between 60 and 75. So a couple early morning trades. Clear target at 80. So let me update mine. All right, we're moving one up to 80 and we're deleting this one. I was kind of waiting to see the level that the bulls were actively playing, and it is finally showing itself. Huge amount of positive gamma. We have this negative gamma node. Those are long calls at 80. So watching that interesting shift out of the gate. And then let me reload this so we can get the newest data. Come on, come on, come on. Faster, 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 faster. Thus far, slightly trending up on the S&P 500. Popped up a little bit, pulled back, popped up again. Slight bullish trend. Looking at the Mag 7, 0 DT doing nothing. Longer duration is up and now a little flat. And then looking at the NASDAQ, it was up a little bit, flat a little bit, down a little bit. And if we look at the chart, the old chart, let's throw up the Keltner channels. We do have a higher low. We do have a report that just came out at 9:45. Is Rick talking on CNBC? I know Trex is missing out on his Becky, Phil.
And it is worth noting, after the, so to speak, it's a new model together, but well, people think the one thing, the growth will go, we don't need to be, and it really hurt with this. I think a lot of people at home are saying, who would lend anyone on a 3-to-1 basis?
4, Jim. I think
4 to 1. 4,
yeah, he was 4x levered.
You broke 4. But the problem is, world to build AstraZeneca, I would think, would be the buyer.
All right, the PMI
again,
slightly missed. I guess they're not bringing on Rick today. They'll probably bring him on at 10 a.m. because that was the S&P Global. There's another manufacturing report at 10 a.m. in 12 minutes. Kind of don't mind that long. I actually really like this long here. This breakout at 9:45, pulls back, tries to hold the cloud, dips a little bit. The risk is large. It's about 45 points, but 35 points. But hey, it paid off that time. It did pay off that time. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Today's partner is us, the Goonie Community. If you want to trade with me, you can sign up, GoonieTrading.com. There's their pricing, your FAQs, and of course, if you have any questions, this comes directly to me, not an employee, not a AI system. This is literally to my email inbox. So if you have any questions, I just need your name, your email, and whatever your question is, and this will come right to me. So if you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com. This is how you get into the Discord where we talk about futures and options and breaking news and kind of just whatever's happening in the world. So just a group of people trying to use data and the statistics to better figure out mainly the options and the futures market. Rumble Sports brought the energy to WWE SummerSlam with our latest commercial. Check it out. We know Trump likes BBC. The state of my timeline. Iran, we are currently have no negotiations with the U.S. Trump, I think there's a deal on Hormuz. So no one really knows what's happening there. No one really knows. What do we have? Are we missing anything? The agreement, Trump and Trump and Trump. That one's actually pretty funny. That deserves a like. Kay Griffin, and he finds a hedge fund too much leverage that is about to get margin called. Dude, these memes, when I order, and so the house mine. Dude. T-minus 1 week until surviving Barstool. That'll be on Rumble. All right. All right. All right. All right. Are we missing anything? Are we missing any breaking news before we really have to dial into some of this degen trading? Well, I guess if we are, you guys can let me know. Sailor and Leopold selling. Yeah, apparently MicroStrategy just sold Bitcoin, so that can't be good, right? That can't be a good sign. That's probably not the best sign that we've ever seen, ever heard of. All right. Have I shown you where I'm at? Here's all my accounts. We're still in eval hell for those of you who are wondering, but we're halfway through eval hell. So maybe we'll be able to figure it out this particular time. I don't know. I am running 2 different bots on the take profit accounts, take profit. So this one's already up 2.6. This one's a brand new account. It's a new pro account because I did pass one. So we're running 2 different versions of a bearish bot if today ends up being a bearish day. If it's not a bearish day, it's not going to run. What time is it? 9:51.
Order filled. Order filled.
Let's see. Well, that's a bummer. That almost hit. Almost being the operative word when it comes to the game of trading. Can I lessen my risk even more? I was looking at the swing low, but I'm wondering if I can move one up. That's a bummer. I was off by a point. Is this the second stream in a row that I was off by a point? No, I think last week on Friday I was off by 2 ticks. I was off by half a point.
Order filled.
All right, I locked in, so it doesn't matter. Can't complain that much. Locked in. Will it go for the runner? Stop got moved to break even, so no risk to me.
Filled.
All right, knocked out at break even. That's with weird slippage issues. So you guys saw that these were all traded together. Some made 50, some made 200. Does anyone know? And then the sim account itself made 80. Why does this happen? Like they were all traded together, and yet that was 10-point slippage. When some make 50 and some make 250, there's a $200 difference. For every one of you who trades NQ, you know that's 10 points. How did I have 10 points of slippage? What in tarnation? Lucid got a better fill than the MFF, but one of the MFFs did work. 4 of the Tradeifys worked. I don't know. Does anyone know what a call wall is? Yeah, it's where there's just a bunch of open interest on the call side. It's a bunch of live call contracts at that level. So depending on the direction you're coming from, it could be resistance, it could be support, once again, depending on direction. But a call wall itself is when there's a huge, like an abnormal amount of open interest, obviously, in calls at that level. Trades are in order, not simultaneously, so time delay dependent. Yeah, but it's also simulated trading. So what are they yammering on about, you know? It brings up the very fair question of it's sim trading. So what is their possible methodology for quote unquote simulating fills? It feels like more of surprise, surprise. They're going to do whatever they can to just give you, oh, and now it goes in my favor anyway. So I was knocked out. I made profit on one. I was knocked out at break even. That's all right because that would have been like kind of a hefty hit, but a huge pop in my favor anyway. So decent read, just not lucky execution. And sometimes you do need a little bit of luck. Someone is screaming, Reddit, Reddit, Reddit. That's just a stock that I like can't get myself to care about. Nothing. You're yelling Reddit and it's actually doing nothing. Like this, it's an inside day. After pumping up, got destroyed on earnings, and now we're within the bar of earnings. So I don't even know. Wait, are you happy about this or sad about this? You're yelling Reddit as if it should be obvious to me of what's going on. And I see actually almost like an unplayable trade. I guess maybe if it breaks up, you have the upside gap fill. If it breaks down, maybe it's still just going to get murdered from earnings. I guess I honestly don't even know why you're commenting it, as in if it's positive or negative, because I'm seeing a bunch of nothing. I'm seeing a bunch of nothingness. Very choppy on what? I don't know. Very choppy relative to what? Oh, hey, can you guys do me a huge, huge favor and smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, do that. And if you haven't hit that like button, do that. Both are free and they just let the world know, dude, there's that pop. I was in at like 498 and we're trading at 550. Come on. I guess it's still on me because I was unwilling to take risk, but maybe I could have done this better. Maybe I should have gotten back in on this break of 510, risking 493. Yeah. I think that's a little bit on me. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. I like this trade. If I show you this chart right here, it's getting a succession of higher highs, higher lows, pulls back, puts in the higher low, starts to get that breakout. You're in at 510. You're risking 493. Huge pop to the intraday high. That's on me. Can you talk about your feelings on AMC? My feelings? I guess it makes me feel sad because there's going to be a lot of novice, uninformed traders who lose a bunch of money. Because like we always see with AMC, when it starts to go up, people are too late. They chase it. They overstay their welcome and they go up a little bit and they think they're the smartest person ever. And then it gets dumped on them and it ends off always worse. And it's a bunch of people who think they're going to be active traders and then they turn it into, unfortunately, a long-term investment, and then they get absolutely like horrendous fills. So my feeling on it is it like legit makes me feel sad because it's just stupid people losing money. It's people who don't understand trading with not much money, losing the little bit of money they have, probably money they shouldn't be losing. And then because they don't understand the market or the history of AMC, it always just ends up worse. So I feel for it. I feel for him. I do. That yellow line above my head is the POC, the point of control. That's thus far on the day where most volume's been traded at. That's 580. It's 664 contracts on NQ. So we're paying attention to that. SPY is going. This is now cruising. All right. So remember, I locked in 2 of the 3. I locked in 1 on Friday. I locked in 1 today, and we have a runner. And then what about these ones? I do think this is maybe a little, we're up almost 100%. So I could sell 5 at maybe 1250. So I'm in at 6. Okay, so let's put it in an order for half of my remaining at 1250. Submit order. Okay. And then on these, I have 8. So we'll sell 2. We'll sell 2 at 12. All right, just continuing to scale out on the plays that I actually did something right on. All right, so we put those in, and this already is my runner here because I don't even know what to do here because there's not much more to scale. I literally have one contract left, 150, 170. I mean, this is already a pretty nice gain, 70. You know what? Let's just do one at 150. Let's do a full double up, 75 up to 150. A nice on the final runner. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. All right, cool. Just in case I'm not paying attention and today ends up being a ripper of a day, just tab levels. It's always fun for things to rip and you screenshot it, but then how many times have we all been there before where we screenshot a nice gain, we all do something right, and then you have the picture of the gains, but you don't lock it in. Makes sense. I went into a store last week for the new Halo and it's awful. The employees are the ones who rejected from Hot Topic, literally bottom of the barrel idiots working for that place. You're talking about GameStop? GameStop's only shot at being like a real, like legitimately successful company is, if it pivots to equivalent to a Berkshire Hathaway where it becomes an investment vehicle. GameStop as its core business, like selling like games and collectibles, it's just not in this current day and age, it's just not a reasonable business anymore. So for GameStop, I think it could be successful, but it would have to literally switch what it is as a business. And I guess I'm bringing it up because in terms of, I don't know, when we say popular, I just mean popularly discussed stocks. That is the closest one to becoming an investment vehicle for Ryan Cohen. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But if you're betting on GameStop thinking that all of a sudden people are going to buy more hard copies of games and buy collectibles from them, and that's going to turn around the business, well, I guess you're just not paying attention to what's happening in the real world. But it happens. They should sell Steam games on a USB stick versus a CD. That way you can just buy the physical and plug and play. Still, who would do that? Everyone just downloads it. It would be, I'm not saying everyone, of course, you're going to find some people who would prefer that, but not enough to keep the business growing. I feel like all the suggestions for GameStop are basically just to barely avoid it blowing up. I'm not hearing any interesting game plans for it to grow and become a better business beyond Ryan Cohen takes it over as an investment vehicle and then just invest in companies that hopefully go up. But GameStop is just, it's a store of yesteryear and its business model is not good. Honestly, it was probably one of the best positioned to somehow ride this Pokemon hype wave, and it didn't even do that. Crypto exchange? What do you mean? Go look at the crypto exchanges. Look at those stocks right now. They're not doing well. Can we take a vote? Does NQ hit the previous day high? I would say yes is going to be the answer to that one. That's probably more likely than not. We have the overnight here. Let's go to the 10 minutes so we can better mark this out. I'll mark out the overnight high and then the previous high. So we are looking at 28,698 and then also 28,725. We'll set some alerts. All right. Trading, we did get this gap. So it filled the gap. So that's what this dip was about. How much of a dip was that? 383. Ooh, that was a big dip, but it ended up actually paying. So for those of you who had enough buffer and you bought the overnight low, once again, that did strike gold. It was tough because once again, you had to have quite a bit of buffer. I'm talking, 70 points of buffer. But if you had 70 points of buffer, it obviously paid very, very well. So just a little interesting stats talk. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is a positive EV expectation if you buy at the overnight low. Hang on. I'm trying to decide if I like this pop here or not. Obviously, we got the 10 a.m. announcement. Is our boy Rick Santilli chit-chatting? All right, we're coming up to the zone that I really care about. We're coming up really, really quickly. Where's our boy Rick?
Both stepped into
Comes in much better than
giving a boost to overall sentiment on Wall Street. We've got much more on all these cross currents in the market straight ahead. Plus, Brookfield's Bruce Flatt with us after news that his company plans to help develop a $100 billion data center campus in Kentucky. And we'll also talk to the
Give
CEO
us
of Hugging
Rick.
Face.
minus 1/10. Minus 0.1%. That would be the lightest since it was negative minus 0.3% in February. If we look at manufacturing, these are fresh July reads from the ISM on manufacturing. Comes in much better than expected, 55.6. That would be
The old
best
10 a.m.
read in over
reversal?
4 years
Or is this just a
since
dip
May
to be
of
bought?
22. Now we look at prices paid, and of course, we'd rather have these numbers go down, expecting 71 in the rearview mirror, 73. It comes in at 71.1. So pretty close to expectations, definitely less than our last look. That would be the smallest level, the smallest increase in prices paid, going back to February when we were 70.5 on new orders.
1 minute bullish, 5 minute bullish, 10 minute bullish, 30 minute bullish on the S&P 500. Nasdaq 1 minute bullish, 5 minute bullish, 10 minute trying to break out. I want to see a fresh high. 30 minute trying to break out. I want to see a fresh high.
And what a week. Of course, we have ADP and the big jobs report from BLS on Friday. Employment comes in better than expected. Expecting a number right at the expansion line of 50, comes in at 52.8. And this is a biggie. We are reversing many months of sub 50. Hasn't been above 50 going all the way back. And this is interesting, since September of 23. So 52.8 now would be the best read since August of 22. Basically 4 years.
Nvidia
That
getting
is
a decent
big
pop.
number to pay attention to. Let's see if we see better than expected numbers in the labor reports. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, we'll wait for that big jobs number on Friday. Thank you, Rick. Rick Santelli. You know what I'm focused on today. Back to my roots
Order
in currencies.
filled.
And by the way, this is why I love currencies, because they impact everything.
Oh, this is
in
why.
all
Okay, I've been
markets.
wondering. Now I have the answer.
Dollar yen is an important one, obviously, because that's the fuel. That's the liquidity trade that can influence everything from fixed income to stocks. We're watching it very
Order
closely
filled.
today. What you see
Order
is
filled.
weaker dollar,
Oh,
stronger
this
yen.
fucking break-even trade.
That is what Japan wants to see, and what they stepped into the market and intervened to do. What was
Well,
so
I made some
monumental
money.
about what happened is that the U.S. joined, and the U.S., along with Japan, both stepped into the market to basically fight the speculators that have made the yen super weak. It got so weak, it was almost at 164.
And this
which
was what,
level since
Friday?
1986.
Friday afternoon, we think? Yeah.
They confirmed that
Right.
it happened on Friday, both the Japanese Finance Ministry
Look at
and the U.S. Treasury. This pick is so gold. It's
That is
Reuters
just-
captured this at the Camp David cabinet meeting. This is Secretary Bessent on his to-do list. Buy Japanese
Just like
yen.
direct
to
market
do.
manipulation.
Yeah, I
Buy-
like that.
but what's
That's how they
fascinating here,
commonly do it.
David, is
Just
that
to-do list, a shopping
the US
list.
and the Treasury has really had a very much of a hands-off approach when it comes to intervening in the markets and treasuries. We have a Treasury Secretary who traded currencies and made
Like,
billions of dollars.
a
in
to-do
selling
list.
the Japanese
Come
yen.
on.
So this is a guy that understands the markets, and I think the other really
We're getting going today. All right. I'll set an alert at 80. What is this? This high is 81. And then this high is this is the all-time high. All right. Watching 81.50 and watching the all-time high. 81.50, the high from mid-July, the high from mid-June are very possible. Very possible. Yeah, we just put a lower high in the 1 minute here. Let's throw up these fractals. See where we're at. Yeah, so we do have some lower highs. Are we going to put in a higher low? Or are we coming down to the 1 minute 50 MA? I guess I can't bitch and moan that much about getting knocked out at break even because I'd be in pain right now. So, you know, it's easy to complain when it all goes in your favor on the bars you don't know, but a little fake out, a little sweep low.
Order fill. Order filled.
Dude, the break even again. I literally don't even have time. Like it just it popped. I caught it a little, but how do I need to better play this? Like it's knocking me out at that break even. I haven't gotten one of these runners to work today. But like maybe that's by design. Like maybe you can't just always count on these runners. What are Keltner channels? It's just a standard deviation move above and below an exponential moving average.
Order
Dude,
filled.
again, I literally... All right, we're gonna switch up the ATM. It's happening so fast that it goes up, hits it, comes back down. By the time I can't even like move something, then again, like it is coming back. So like, do I really want to pivot it? Because like all these moves, there's only one. It was the one this morning, but even that, it was like a 20-point sweat I had to take. I'm torn on it. I'm torn. 580 right here is the point of control. We're knocking on this breakout line. Real breakout, fake out breakout. We keep bouncing off of the 20 EMA. That's what this white line is. Is this going to be real? Real or fake? Real or fake? Real or fake? Real or fake? If it goes...
Order filled.
Not again. Not again. How? This is my luck. My fill is at 600.75, auto set by the ATM. Look at the pop, 600.5, off by a tick. Brutal. Brutal. Is this a real breakout? It pops, it pulls back. I want to give this one time. I want to lock in there, give myself an extra $100 of buffer. What time is it? It's 10:11. We are hopefully holding 580. 580 is the point of control. This risk one is a little bit suspect, to be completely honest. I'd feel a lot better locking in one and only carrying the risk of two here. All right, come on. On this pop, let's lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it. Stop this. Stop this madness. Stop this madness. Lock it in. Lock.
Order
there we
filled.
go. Okay, cool. Now we could be reasonable. Okay, where are we at? Tradeify. I have one Tradeify account that's like oddly off. 122. 122 needs an extra $200. 600. 550. All right, I'm moving that up there just for a second because I have to do individual account management. All right, so I need, where is 550? Where is 550? 23. 23 roughly. 23 roughly. 23. So then this one would be 33. Just doing some quick math. Hopefully it's not wrong. 23. Okay. Just handling the Tradeify accounts separately because they have a different consistency rule. All right, so the Tradeifys are taken care of, and I can unconnect those just so I don't accidentally mess them up. And then these other accounts, oh, they are all kind of different, folks. How do I want to manage that? 600. How do I want to manage that? I guess I could do it individually if those levels get there. 1100 seems right. No, 900. I wish there was a way to auto set. There probably is. Oh, are we coming back down to this low? That would suck. A fake out breakout. Uh-oh. Is it going to hold? Come on. Let's see that higher low. If this hits, I actually think I'm going to have to give money back on some of the accounts, but hey, that's a good problem to have. I could figure that one out later. I'm a little bit more worried about this pullback in real time. I got too caught up doing the math, but hasn't really fully broken down. This is just like the ranges that we're dealing with today. Just the ranges that we're dealing with today. If it bounces from here, yes, I could use this low as my risk point, but I needed to take out like 616. And that would be nice because then I could really update my risk. But it is pressing, and it's pressing hard. Let's take a look at flow really quick. NASDAQ. Ooh, that's not good. I am trading against NASDAQ flow. Mag 7's looking good, though. And SPY's also looking good. So SPY's in my favor. NASDAQ is in my... Or SPY and Mag 7 are in my favor. NASDAQ is kind of going against me. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. S&P 500 is extremely bullish, actually almost hitting a new intraday high. It's the NASDAQ pullback that's not so hot for me. Too much of a chasey fill, I suppose. Let's see. I'm still generically on the right side of trend. I would just love to see this breakout of 628 to be a bit more confident in this hold. Are we going to get going? Are we going to get going? I should. Do I want to move the risk up? Probably should. Probably should. All right, updating some of these other orders just to make sure that my math is fine. Who really knows these days? Who really knows? I think I have so many different orders going on right now. If this works without having an issue, my mind will be blown. But because the accounts had a little bit of slippage issues, and I'm going for very specific goals today due to the consistency rules, I'm trying to, in real time, update these orders to the exact levels that they need. And we are getting quite close on the Tradeifys. The Tradeifys, I want 1,200 a pop. So we're getting close on the Tradeifys, and lock it in. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Are you kidding me? Hit 22, I need 23. Come on, just a little bit of a follow through. And 28's the breakout level, so I think this is reasonable. I think this is reasonable. Come on.
Order
There
filled.
we go. Okay, we locked in some almost to the 1200. That's fine for the consistency. There was one that had $100 slippage, so that's what I'm looking for right here. It just needs 33. It's almost there. Come on. Come on.
Order filled.
All right, nice. Lock that in. 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200. Hit those on the day. I'm going to disconnect them before I accidentally mess them up. But just to show you, the Tradeify maxed it out 2 days in a row. So Tradeify, those are being disconnected. Those 5 maxed out. Oh, the pro account, the bot must have taken that breakout trade, locked in 185. That's great. I like that. And then what are we looking for? The MFFs are all a little bit different, I believe. I think they're a little bit different. I think. They're now fully disconnected. 600. Oh, my numbers are way off. So 600, so I need 900. All right, that was one of them. Oops, I did the wrong one. All right, so this one needs to come to like 41, I believe. Yeah, that's this one. And then these are all 441. So all the other ones are 51. So 51. Let's see if I could do this quickly enough to not mess up any of the consistency rules. Come on. This little maneuver here could cost me 20 years. All right, one more. All right, cool. So those are all the MFFs. And then what about the Lucids, though? The Lucids are the SIM account. All right, we'll move those to 44. Oh, do we want to do break even on the Lucids or do we want to let it rip? Do we want to do...
Order filled.
The TPT account just took that trade.
Order filled.
Locked. What was that? Something locked in. Oh, the MFF just locked in that order filled right there, 1500. So pass that test. We have some live ones. What are we doing? Come on. It's like right here. Just go. Just go a little. Just go a little. Let the kids play. Let the kids play. What did I need?
Order filled.
Nice. All right. We're locking in. 3K, 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 3K. Locked in, locked in, locked in, locked in, locked in, locked in.
Order filled. Order filled.
Boom. And just like, dude, I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when a plan comes together. So past all of the Lucids, 3K, 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 3K in net profit, 53 on all of them. Same thing on the MFFs, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So, and then Tradeifys that you saw, I maxed those out. So that was 1.2. So let's disconnect the Lucids. Let's disconnect the MFFs. And then the one bot's already fired and I made 330. And then this bot has not fired at all. So it's just hasn't traded. What a day, dude. What a day. That's how you start off a week. That's how you start off a new month. I'm very happy with that performance. Very, very happy with that performance. We're making money. We locked it in. We're shutting things down. We're not being silly. We're not being stupid. Ideally, I can find it within myself to not trade those today now. I can upgrade them real time, but I'm hoping to find the discipline within myself to not trade them until tomorrow. They can all be upgraded, but I want to wait for tomorrow. After the trade, Matt, can you pull up spot gamma? Yeah, sure. Here's a look at the NASDAQ showing some life. Here's a look at the Mag 7 showing some life. Here's a look at the S&P 500. Did I lock in here? No, we're getting close. I'm willing to dump my final of 3 SPX calls at a 100% gain. I spent 7.5K and I'm looking to make 7.5K, which would have a very nice realized of, I already realized 5 and I'm trying to realize another 7.5. So that'd bring me to 12 on this account in the day. Once again, my pending order is at 150 right here, 150. So this is an SPX call for time. This isn't even a 0DT. Matt, do you have dummy lessons for your platforms you trade, like a whole A to Z setup video? Yeah, that's all in the Discord. The Discord is where I'm able to be a lot more hands-on, but hopefully we hear the dingity ding 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 on this one soon, and then this will go flat. And then obviously you guys also know, you saw me put in orders. Okay. Wait, did that hit? It did not hit. I'm trying to sell 2 and 5 of the 10 and the 8 that I still have. So I have 18. I'm trying to dump 7 of them. Once again, it's just proper risk management. As things are going in my favor, maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't. I'm just trying to take some of the money off the table, feel more comfortable, keeps me emotionally calm, and then see if I could just let it keep ripping. But almost at the 100% gain there on SPY. And the Qs are a bit weaker. They're only up 28%. I was able to lock in a decent amount on Friday. But I mean, I know percentage-wise it's not that big. I get it. But for me, I mean, 7K is nothing to balk at. Like, to me, 7K is like a legitimate amount of money. So I don't want to somehow fumble that. I should say this percentage gain is huge. I know for some of you degenerately trading 0DT options, 30% isn't the biggest number, but it's 2K. I mean, dude, who doesn't want an extra 2K, you know? So I'm just trying to be a lot more reasonable than I have in June and July. As I mean, I haven't hidden it from any of you. If anything, I've probably been oversharing, but I obviously had a very rough time trading in June and July. So over the weekend, on top of doing a bunch of data analytics, I kind of try to get my mind right of like, how am I going to handle this? How am I not going to handle it? Like that type of a thing. And obviously, this is just the proper way to engage in the market. So trying to scale out a little bit at 12, it's trading at 1150. Trying to scale out at 1250, it's trading at 1190. So these are close to scaling out. This is somewhat close to scaling out. I think that's a reasonable target to hit when I hit my reach target of 80. Well, actually, the reach target is 600, but I'm looking for 80. And I think there's going to be an initial rejection there. I guess for those of you thinking, Matt, that's way too early. I just want you guys to know that we got clearly rejected at 81. We got clearly rejected at 78. I am watching this zone. We have a high on July 15th. We have a high on July 10th, and we have a high on June 15th that all suggest this is a reaction zone. And of course, resistance stays resistance until it's not. And upon that breakout, which I do believe is going to happen, I'm then looking for 621, which is the all-time high on the S&P 500. But on an intraday basis, please do not be surprised if there's some profit taking here. This is a very important level. My 0DT SPY calls are at 525%. L1 sold one at 100 and letting the other ride. Great way to do it. Great way to do it. Congrats, man. That's a huge gain. That's a nice gain. It feels like a lot of people are making money today. Looks like the world's largest casino is treating the Goonie community pretty well. I'm looking for 80 and then 600, but I would be, if you haven't scaled out at all, 80 is a great area to scale out. I mean, you could see this clear structure. Like, it's just, if you're for some reason thinking, no, I don't like 80, I like 90 or 95 better, you're playing with fire because it could so easily be rejected. It's so in our face today. That if you're not at least scaling out a bit, like taking some of your risk off the table, you're basically saying, no, it's not going to at all react to these key gamma levels or these key structural levels, and it's just going to keep going. And yeah, maybe you're right, but in terms of just the amount of times this has played out in the past, it's just proper portfolio trade positional management to somehow manage it a bit, which is what I've effectively been trying to do. I just throw in these orders as we go up and up and up, a little bit more off the table. And for those of you who have done that in the past, I think you guys could all admit it really does have a calming effect. Like all of a sudden, it just makes you, it feels as if this weight's off your shoulder and all of a sudden you could just see things a little bit more clearly and behave a little bit less irrationally, a little less spastic. So this concept of scaling in and scaling out, not only is the math supportive of it being a higher profitable way to engage in the market, from an emotional capital standpoint, I think we could all agree. All of a sudden, locking in some, like you just feel that like that weight's off your shoulder. You can breathe a sigh of relief and like kind of manage the rest of your position better than most likely you would have if you just swung the whole thing. Obviously, my thoughts and opinions just from my experience trading. And if you're just good at slinging it here, there, everywhere, I do wish you the best of luck. I'm obviously not rooting against you. I'm just kind of letting you know what's worked for me. And if it works for you, congrats. If it doesn't work for you, hey, I get that as well. What was my first long? Was it my first long? Yeah, it was at 498 and we're trading at 655. That's crazy. Tis crazy. It works so well if you're on the right side of it, and it works so poorly if you're on the wrong side. Got nailed with the MAE violation Friday on APIC. Does that mean my payout for this payout will be denied, or I'll have to trade another 8 days? Yeah, it means, well, actually, what's the newest rule? It either means you're guaranteed a denied or you have to now go 8 days from now. I think they updated it and you have to now go 8 days from now on. You have to have 8 days of clean. Before, if you violated it on day 7, you had to still trade day 8 request. They would deny it, but I do believe they updated it. So now you have to, from here, trade 8 clean days. Correcto mundo. Correcto mundo, brother. I have my trouble letting my runners run because I have to make sure I pass my eval and lock in smaller profits on swing days. I'm not the best person to necessarily ask with that because I have like no real respect for my evals. When I'm trading evals, I just go for it. I don't want to fiddly fuck around with evals, and I'm not saying that's smart. Like it is financially more expensive to do it that way. I just don't have the patience to be stuck in eval hell. I'm either gonna get out or I'm gonna fail and restart. I trade evals far more aggressively than I trade my funded accounts. You think we see all-time high on SPX today? Nope, I do not. I think we get rejected either at 80 or at 600. I don't think we are pushing 620. I have no real, none of the big players are betting on that, so why would I be betting on that? All the big players are basically positioned between 560 and 590. If big players don't think it's going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. Rushing evals can suck and cost some unnecessary money sometimes, but all in all, I am not wasting time on junk either. The fastest possible path isn't direct. I agree with that. And I'm not saying that's appropriate for everyone. It's kind of somewhat dependent on your personal patience, also your own financial situation, because it is more costly. But I would rather be time efficient than financially efficient when it comes to prop firms. But I'm not saying that's appropriate for everyone. That is like just from person to person, to be completely honest. Loving the no PDT rule. I'm surprised they had it for as long as they did. I really am. What do you recommend if I wasted a lot of time on ICT? What should I buy or learn to study properly? There's a lot of free resources out there. There's a lot of phenomenal books as well for a little bit of money. I think everyone, a great starting place. It sounds like ICT, so you're probably trading futures. And this is somewhat who ICT stole all this shit from. So if you want to actually learn, go learn from Larry Williams, and his book, the best book to read is The Long-Term Secrets of Short-Term Trading. I have no affiliation with him. I don't make money off saying this, but I'm just telling you, a book that will help you look at the market in a better way is called The Long-Term Secrets of Short-Term Trading. You could probably find a used copy for it for $30. You could probably find it online for free. I highly recommend reading it rather than listening to it because there's a lot of graphics and charts that you could look at. And I know if you do it on Audible, they have it, but that's just kind of a pain in the ass. So I think that's a good starting place. And if you don't feel like doing that, maybe you're not a reader, or maybe you've already read it and you want to look for something else, folks, it's really not that hard. Right now, in the modern era of AI, let's say you have a trading strategy and you're like, okay, cool. My strategy is to wait for the first push past 10 a.m. of the 20 EMA, and you buy there. You're like, okay, we were bullish. We dip into it. I buy right there. Does that work? What's my risk? What's my reward? Is that a good strategy? The beautiful thing about it is all you have to do is go to AI, Claude, Grok, ChatGPT. Honestly, Codex and Claude are going to be a bit better at Grok than this at the current state of AI. And you say, on NQ, on the 1 minute, if I buy at the 20 EMA, the first touch after 10 a.m., is that profitable? What's my risk? What's my reward? It's honestly the current, I believe, the current era of successful retail traders are going to be people who are just like inquisitive and ask AI a bunch of questions and just keep doing data analysis until they find something that has positive expected value. That's all you have to do. You just sit there. Like wherever you like, oh, that's interesting. So like consume as much information as you can. Look at charts and be like, oh, that's an interesting setup of, oh, maybe you trade the 30-minute. And I hear everyone talking about it. Here, let me show you something. I'm going to show you something that I did over the weekend that I think is like a real case study. So this guy trades for Tradeify, and recently he's been talking about the 15-minute Orbo. The Orbo, opening range breakout breakdown, 1-to-1 risk to reward. So whatever you're risking, going for it. He says 5 wins, 0 losses this week. Mark the range between 930, 945. Whichever one is formed second, you're taking that. So if you make the low first and the high second, you buy on that breakout. It's 1-to-1 risk to reward. That's interesting. And he showed some odds for it. So first break high, reversal 1/3 to 2/3, first break high, and this is if you form the low for it. So it's telling you that the breakout is better than the breakdown, and he gave some associated odds for it. I saw that was interesting, and I thought, okay, that's really not hard code. I went to Claude and I said on NQ, I'm interested in the 15-minute Orbo. If the low is formed second, and if the high is formed, if the low is formed first and the high is formed second, and then there's a bullish breakout, what are the chances of me making money if I go long and I use 1-to-1 risk to reward? Is this a true statement that it won every day last week? That is a true statement. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, if you traded the 15-minute Orbo breakout, you were fine. 5 wins, 0 losses. That is a true statement. What's interesting, and this is what you can find out in 30 seconds of research using AI, is if you traded that for the entire quarter, you would be down money. If you traded that all year, you would be down money. So as true as it is that it made money last week, ask yourself, is that a strategy you actually want to trade when it was more of a fluke that it was profitable last week than anything else? That's just the math of it. That's just the science of it. And for those of you who didn't have a background in statistics or computing, or really programming, I should say, basic Python data analysis, I could understand why before this year, you're like, well, I just don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do proper backtesting. But now you don't have to. Now you have to just log into AI and say, this is what I want to backtest. What are the answers? So there's things like this that are misleading. And I'm not the biggest fan of it because he's not necessarily telling anyone to trade this, but obviously when you see, oh, it won every day and it didn't lose at all, it's something that is going to cause people like, oh, that's maybe a good strategy. While people with my mindset, I just looked at it and said, okay, that's interesting. Is it real? Is there something here? Is there true positive expected value? And then you dive into it, you research it, and you're going to find ideas all over, listening to audiobooks, reading books, watching streams, watching videos, reading stuff on Twitter, maybe just in your own analysis of the market of like, oh, okay, that's like kind of an interesting thing. And then from there, it's wherever you come up with these ideas, like just go test them. See if there's actual positive expected value. Opinions on Qualcomm at this level. QCOM. Dog shit, I guess, are the first 2 words that come to mind. It's just 1 week. Yeah, 1 week is not statistically viable. And it sounds like you know a little bit about stats, but there's a lot of people on Twitter who don't know anything about stats. And without knowing anything about stats, that's nice because AI does. And AI might say, yes, it won every day of the past week, but that doesn't mean you want to trade it, and it'll give you a breakdown. So to the people in, let's say, the ICT community, or just people who don't know math or statistics, this seems enticing. And it's enticing enough to be like, hey, I want to test this and see if it is a worthwhile test. And like I said, this is kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing because it seems good, but then as soon as you actually test it for any serious period of time, you're going to realize it's a net losing trade, especially on prop firms where you're not going to be able to withstand the pullback. Damn, I'm still in this at 143. We're still at 72. Yeah, I'm looking for this pop somewhere between 78 and 81. Is your end goal to run multiple regime dependent strats or just one and all encompassing one? That's a really interesting, insightful, timely question because over the weekend I had a lot of time to think about like what is my goal. So without getting too philosophical with you, my goal is to set up my trading in a way in which I can confidently make money, but it does not require that much of my time. My goal is to make as much money as I can with the least amount of time dedication. I want them to be inversely related. So for me, my skill set, my knowledge of the market, yes, it would be systematic algorithmic trading, and the best way to do it is have very low correlated systems all running together that run under one portfolio, but ideally they don't really have much to do with each other. The higher the correlation, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So my goal is to eventually be fully systematic, like a full, hey mom, watch, hands off, me not doing anything. And then I want to do that. And then with my free time, more recently, I want to get my mental and physical health back to where it should be. Well, to be fair, my mental health is always low. That's just how I live. But my physical health could definitely be improved ever since having a newborn. I just haven't had time to take care of myself, dieting, gym, all that stuff. So in the short term, I want to get my physical health back to where it should be just because it's been a couple months of me basically being a fat fuck. And I just don't feel like I have that good of an excuse. And obviously to free up time, algorithmic systematic trading is doing that. In the long run, I want to be able to be a more present father and obviously spend more time with my son. And not only does systematic trading make that more possible because you literally just don't have to be in the screen as much, but I also think my personality makeup, and maybe this is true for you, maybe this is not true for you, I find that my emotions are impacted. I'm really, really happy if I made money, and I'm also really, really sad and angry and frustrated if I lost money, and I just don't do the best at compartmentalization, and I do carry it with me for the remainder of the day, which maybe seemingly isn't that bad if you had a good day and you made money and you're happy and you're jovial and you're bouncing around and you're high energy for your toddler and you're great to your wife or your girlfriend or your girlfriend's boyfriend or whoever it is. But then the same is commonly true is if you had a bad day, it's tough to leave it at the computer. It's tough to leave it at the monitor. And I carry that with me. So I kind of want to step away from that. So those are all my personal goals. And as I'm on this, because I do have strategies, what I don't have is the discipline to stop manually trading and just trading the strategies. I've been doing strategy development for almost a decade now. I have a lot of strategies that I should be running. And I just need to find the discipline within myself to refine them for prop accounts, because that is different from how I normally did it with swing accounts. And I have even some of those. I just literally, you're seeing it here. Some of them just didn't fire today. I think I've had 3 systematic trades today, or 2 on this account, 0 on this account. So I am doing it. It's just like a little bit of a slow burn. But then when I'm at that, as I'm continually building that out, that's what I want to do with my free time, is build out more and more strategies when I feel like working. And then more importantly than that, from a community aspect, is I just want to teach you guys how to do it. My goal is to make more systematic traders. And my reasoning for that is I believe for retail traders or for any traders, it's the best way to engage in the market. I think if you look at anyone in their trading career and they're being honest and earnest and like really looking at their trading journal and their history, they're going to say that the weakest part of their trading career is them, themselves, their emotion, their discipline. It has nothing to really do with the system or the leverage or the sizing. It's those things get out of whack because we are emotional creatures. So I really deeply believe the best way to engage in the market is in a systematic, mechanical, algorithmic manner. And I don't believe there's been a better time to do that than now. When I say better, I mean the easiest way to do it. So on the community side, as I'm going through the newest age of, oh, wow, there's this AI tool, there's that AI tool, we could do this, that, the other thing. My goal is to basically, for those of you who are interested, bring you guys along with it and be like, yeah, no, this is what I do. But once again, like, do I think that there's amazing discretionary traders out there? I do. Am I one of them? No, I am not. If you have that within you, and for some reason you love looking at the charts and you're a person who has amazing gut feel, does that exist? Yes, there are very few people out there who, for whatever reason, they crush it. But for the rest of us mere mortals, it's just our brains are not set up to do it. Like we are just not set up to do that. So do I wish I was that person? Yeah, because I can make a lot more money. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more cool. It is. It truly, truly is. But for me, it's just not in the cards. I don't have the personality makeup to handle that. I just don't. What I do, though, is I have the skill set to do systematic, mechanical, algorithmic trading. And I am hoping, and maybe this is a little, I guess, egotistical of me, I also think I have the proper communication ability to be able to like express that and teach that. And honestly, a lot of that's already been going on in the Discord, but we're kind of gearing up for another chapter of it right now. We have a great team behind it of like just kind of breaking down the stats, and we have a lot of videos planned for it. We have a lot of like where the platform's going to go. But really what I want to do, let's say just for the remainder of this year from August onward, is show you guys on the stream, cover all the breaking news, do day trading with you, obviously backed by stats, facts, figures. But in terms of the vibes of the channel and the videos and the shorts, I want to go in the way of how to leverage the tools around you to get trading systems that are ideally algorithmically executed that have actual positive EV. Because I just see too much shit on the internet of bullshit like ICT or even like what we just saw here. And no hate to him. He's a good guy. I met him. I like him. But I'm just saying, like, this is just not good math. This is not something you want to trade. Did it work last week? It did. But also mathematically, 5 data points, it's just not statistically significant. And then by the time you test this to the point that you have true statistical significance, it's just not a good strategy. That's it. That's like deeply it. That's it. The math of this says you should not be doing it. And people with a short-term bias say, but it worked last week, so I'm going to trade it. Great. Okay. Go trade it if you want. You're going to lose money. Like I don't know what to tell you. You're going to lose money and it's going to be painful. So if you want to trade it, have at it. Don't let me stop you. But historically, if you traded that over the past 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, you would be down money. So if you think for some, I made money somehow. 2 of these locked in on the Qs. I must have locked in at 1250. So that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Hang on. I want to see if I should be trading something. No. Honestly, the sim. The only other thing that might fire today is this one right here. The bot put in a buy order, a breakout. Okay. Yeah. IB continuation. IB, for those of you who don't know, are the first hours high and low. That's this red line. It basically waits for the pullback or the pump, the break IB, the pullback, and then it chases the continuation. I even know I'll be the first one to admit that in here with you guys. I'm like, yeah, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. And that's kind of like a methodology of how I view the market because whatever, minimal risk reward. But for this particular strategy, it has found that if you wait for the pullback, it gives up too many trades. So it's just better to get in on the long. So we'll see. This would be its 3rd trade of the day. And honestly, if it makes 500 on the first day, I might even just shut it down and just move on with my life and go do stuff. It's all about risk control. It is. Inherently, that's what trading, like in a nutshell, truly is. It's all about risk control. You're spot on. And I have found that the best way to control your risk is to have a robotic, emotionless system do it for you rather than you trusting in yourself to be hyper disciplined every single day. You might be disciplined 99 out of 100 days, but it's on that 100th day that, who knows, maybe it's crappy weather outside, you stubbed your toe and you ran out of coffee. It could happen. It's those types of situations where you can't afford to not be disciplined if you're
Order
doing
filled.
discretionary trading. Hang on, bots live. And it did not lock in even though it hit its... How is that possible? Is the order just... Okay, well, it locked in anyway. But you guys saw that the wick went above it. Interesting. Come on. Come on. That one actually hit my level and didn't give me the fill. Look at right there. The high is 42 and my fill was 42. And you saw it all in real time. These are the types of things when you do the theoretical, like perfect testing, and then how that can deviate in real time is because back testing, it would say, nope, you got your fill because your fill was at 42. It hit 42. But for whatever reason, the Trade of Fate data feed did not count that as a win for me. Did not count it as a win for me. Did you ever get your $1 million from Apex? No, I'm still waiting to hear from them. That's frustrating. And these are the things that sometimes you have to test in production when because the AI system would say that's a win. It hit your level and it looks like it's gearing up to be a win anyway. But it is frustrating because in real time, I had to sit through that, but whatever. 475, you know what? I'm going to even shut that one down on the day because why press my luck? That's a funded account. So why not just slow and steady? Slow and steady. All right. Folks, I think I'm going to call it a day. Obviously I'm going to hang out here with you, but I mean, in terms of my trading, I have all my pending orders up. I mean, things are looking good. Things are looking good. The thing that we are missing currently is Piper. 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 Oh, interesting. This is a really strong signal on Piper. It kind of makes sense because now we have positive gamma back in the system. But for those of you in Discord, Piper just fired a max signal a minute ago. Do I want to scale out of more of these? Do I want to just keep scaling while it's working, or do I want to just keep ripping some? Nah. Right, a 93% gain. We're getting there. Yeah, I'll give it a second. You know what? Win in Rome. We haven't hit 80. We haven't hit 82 yet. I'm kind of looking at that. We had a nice pop there on NQ. Feels like a good start to the week. Now, talking about emotion and everything is this is a great example of it's all working, it's all exciting, and every aspect of me thinks, okay, it's green, we're making money, it's really not that bad. You got to make hay while the sun shines, and we're looking good. But then this is just the mechanical aspect of no, sometimes you just got to shut it down. If the signal's not there, it's not there. When things are like this, there's such a FOMO aspect, at least in my brain, of oh man, I gotta just keep going. This is too good. What's that meme of I gotta make money off this? But then that's the hardest thing is being no, it's good. You made your money, walk away. So I guess that's one of my personal goals for the month of August is to, in situations like this where I did already lock everything in. Actually, we could probably fully upgrade all these right now. Let's see. Should we do that live? A little bit of a live upgrade. Let's see. My portal. Launch dashboard. Yep. These ones are all good. Upgrade to funded. I've read that so many times. Go, go, go. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. There's those 5 are good. And then there's another batch of 5 on my funded futures, but they want to make sure that I'm not a robot. All right. I swear I'm not a robot. All right. So we have these 1. All right. 1 done. 2. Network error. Let me reload it. Hang on. We're getting a little bit of a network error. Do I just need to reload? 2. All right. Do we have to reload after every single one? I'm just trying to upgrade the 10 that I can to show you that it was real. To show you that I finally did something with my life. All right. We did 2 of them. Come on, bro. Come on. Man, looks like they're having a little bit of a tech issue. There we go. 3. Nope. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh, you just have to spam click it. Okay. 3. 4. 1 more. You know, it'd be really funny is if we do like 1 trade on the funded accounts, right? Like just should we just do like 1 little trade on the funded accounts to just get them started? What could go wrong, right? Nothing's ever gone wrong when you're just telling yourself 1 more trade. Dude. Here we go. Come on. Come on. It says it's upgrading, but is it? All right. So those 5 are upgraded. So here we go. MFF, Lucid, and Tradeify. Okay, so there's the brand new funded MFFs. There's the brand new funded Lucids. Here's my FFNs that I have like $220,000 in net unfunded. And then here's the Tradeifys that I can't pass today. It's actually impossible because of their consistency rule. So tomorrow I just need to make like $650. So that's the goal there. So just to show you, yeah, we upgraded it in real time. And then to also show you, we're gonna I just don't want to accidentally trade on any of this. I've made those mistakes before and it makes you feel uniquely stupid. It makes you feel real stupid. All right, orders. I want to make sure cancel all orders. All right, we're good. So the only thing that's live right now here, I could reset this as well. That's just the SIM account that I was using the trade copier on. Edit, reset. Yes. Okay. Once again, that's just the SIM account for the trade copier. So I have 2 TPTs. One is eval. That bot did not run today. And then the other one is this pro that I did trade, I think 3 times, and it made just under $500. So I think we might just chill there, folks. Matt, hang on. Let me bring this up for you. I'm sure there's... Matt, will your very real wife ever be on your show to interview you, or Piper to hear in the words and investment strategies? A better chance of Piper coming on than my wife, for sure. But I mean, Piper comes on every once in a while. She just didn't, I guess, she was here early this morning when I was in Discord, but not on the show today. Not on the show. Did this ever get a fill? Nope, but it did get close. It did get close. I want to know, how high did it get? There was oh no. So that was a trade, but that doesn't necessarily mean the current bid ask. I'm trying to dump it at 150 and it's trading just 146 and some change. So we have about $3.50 to go so I can lock this bad mamma jamma in. Will that happen, or is it going to turn early? We haven't really tagged 80 yet. I'm looking anywhere from 78 to 82, somewhere around here. On that pop, I should be able to dump my final SPX call, and then my runners are going to be all the plays, the remainder of the plays here. SPY and Qs, I have 16 left. I've been slowly but surely scaling out as the account is just growing and growing and growing. All right, folks. Like I said, if you want to trade with me, learn my methodology, learn a little bit about AI, systematic trading. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, there's a contact page, or you could just sign up. Like I said, any questions, comments, or concerns, you could reach out directly to me with this form. If you're signing up for any of these accounts, like you saw my Lucid, MFF, all of that, just use code Goonie for the best code. Spot Gamma, Bookmap, the thing that's above my head, that's all in the description of the video. We will be posting content later on today, so don't forget to turn on your notifications on both Rumble and on YouTube. And then other than that, I appreciate the good vibes. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We'll post content later today. We'll be streaming once again tomorrow. Tonight, we have Palantir and Snapchat earnings. So if you're paying attention to Palantir and Snapchat, obviously don't forget about that. Other than that, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you're truly crushing the market today. I'm going to go hang out in the Discord a little bit, but whatever you're doing, stick to your trading plan, respect your risk, and hopefully the market gods shine upon you. Thanks for all the good vibes, and peace.